every 2 out of 100 people who say they're going to write a book actually do it. Hello, this is Caitlin on Busy Writer's Life, and for this video, I'm talking about whether or not you should be an author, or how you know being a writer is what you're meant to do. I'm pretty sure every writer asks. First of all, you should know that the definition of author is authority. That's what the Latin word means. And authority, leadership. So you're kind of taking leadership over what you're presenting, whether you're presenting a creative story or you're writing over something that's explaining a scientific term. I'm a fiction writer, so I can't quite pinpoint those. Another thing you should keep in mind is statistics say that every 2 out of 100 people who say they're going to write a book actually do it. That's because the writing process is very vigorous. It will definitely weed you out if you're not into it. And quite frankly, a lot of people use the excuse of I don't have time, which is another reason why this channel was created in the first place. When you start writing your book, when you get the idea of I want to write a book, what is your motives? Are you wanting to do it for money? Are you wanting to do it for fame? Are you trying to get your name out there? It's the same thing as fame. Or are you just doing it because you love to write and you just something to do, kind of? And of course, it is obvious which one I'm about to say. If you're doing it for the money, wrong choice. Okay, you're not going to get buyers for the longest time. If you're doing it for fame, that's also a wrong choice because people will remember your story, not your name. Sorry, not a lot of people get J.K. Rowling's. But if you have a burn to write, that's where it really comes in key, because if you have any other motive, you're going to fall short. You're going to fade away, and you're going to end up throwing your manuscript away, or at least putting it off and not looking at it for another 20 years. You should also know that if your motives are to have your book become a movie, you don't need to be a novelist, you need to be a screenwriter, because a fraction of writers actually see their books come into movies. Okay, there's lots of movies on books, but there's more books. Okay, you write for the purpose for yourself. You write to tell your side of the story on how you see life, what you're fantasizing is what I do. You also have to think about, what do you get out of it when you write? When you write, what do you feel? This depends on your personality quite a bit. When you do write, the public is going to be affected if they end up seeing your writing. A lot of times if you say I've written a book, you get a lot of credibility, like you know what you're talking about, especially if you've written a book over the topic you're talking about. Also, writing a book, I believe, gives personal growth because it is such a hard process. Any hard process does. And of course, here's the entertainment, probably the part where you wanted to hear of this thing. What are the behaviors of a writer? Now, not all of these are borderline. Just because you don't do some of these behaviors doesn't mean you're not meant to be a writer. Okay? You do know borderline, if you write, you are a writer. If you like to write, you're a writer. Okay? That's the main thing. So number one, what is a behavior of the writer? Is you're constantly thinking about your book or your project or a project, even if it's not your current one. You're, even if you're not thinking about the story itself, you're thinking about what you have to do next. Whether it's the next idea, the next plot, like, I have to figure out how I'm going to outline this novel. Or even if you're thinking of your marketing, like, I wonder if Goodreads would be a good idea. By the way, it is. Number two, you look at every experience and you're like, how do I describe this? When you're crying, you'll stop in the middle and be like, okay, what am I feeling right now? Okay, my chest is kind of heavy. For me, my right arm gets all tingly. You start to think of, wow, my eyes are burning while I'm crying. And, I have a massive headache afterwards or things like that. So it's just, you think of how would you describe this so you can apply it to your writing. Of course, you probably know the more experience you have, the better your writing. And the more you read, the better your writing. And another thing, as I said before, is writing is a priority to you. Like I said, you write, you make it a priority to eat, don't you? I mean, you'd be dead if you didn't. So if writing is a priority where you make the time, you put it in your schedule, like, I'm going to write regardless, then I'm pretty sure you're a writer then. It's very important to know when you're asking yourself, should I be a writer? Writers, their passion is writing. when they are not writing, they kind of feel lost, or like they're supposed to be doing something to improve their writing, which is why they constantly think about it. They kind of feel guilty if they don't end up doing their time that they designated. It's kind of a part of who you are. I can't imagine myself not writing. I've tried, because writing is, quite frankly, a lot of work, very frustrating sometimes, and there's a lot of job opportunities that would definitely pay me more and would actually, I would actually seek more public approval. But you also have to, but the thing is I love to write. I can't imagine myself doing without it. It's like embedded into my DNA. It is a part of who I am, and it is part of my personality, which is why I know I'm a writer. Plus, I'm told I'm good at it, and that helps. This is a video to look at when you're trying to self-evaluate yourself to see if you're supposed to be a writer. And I say, if you are, go for it. What's it gonna hurt? If you try it, it's not gonna hurt anything. And if you make it, hey. If you don't, well, at least you can say you tried. Hang on, Dad. You can edit this blank part out, but I have to read this because it's like word for word what I'm supposed to say. So hang on. Okay. Let's hang out on the internet, okay? I have a blog on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and of course there's here on YouTube. All those links should be in the description. Please hit that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up, because that would absolutely make my day. Okay. If I am any help to you at all, then please go ahead and check out the rest of my stuff. I mean, that would also make me happy. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again. I want to have you watch my videos again, so please come back.